As the pistol, I want to see the 6-round, 7-round streak from Action PH to get back into this.
I want to see that as well, Dax. I want to see the comeback come really hard, fast, decisive, the way we know Action PH is supposed to be. You know, Action, I have to assume, just based on the logo and based on the name, that it has something to do with the Action comics of old, the Supermen of the time. And this certainly could be the case if they can make such a heroic comeback as this. I mean, they have Georgie, they have Eman, two of the most, I guess, hot-handed players we see here in the VCTPH. Players that can pop off and get absolutely astronomical numbers over almost any other player you'll see here. But that has yet to be seen, at least in this matchup. And that's the reason why we're all kind of holding our breath for what Action PH can do, because we know what they can do. We know how, and we all witnessed what they brought during stage 1. Stage 2, maybe just starting a bit slower for map number 1, but as we said, Breeze should be where their home is mid, should be their playground. It's them who's been currently, I guess, been used and played of.
Yeah, a Batman already with a frag, a Ripper right there for the trade, and Georgie. That's good here for Action PH. Some confidence building kills, but suddenly it's shattered! Here, Black and Blue, Coco again makes the frenzy count, it's 2v2! And I've seen this before, and I don't like it for Action PH. A-site now being taken by Oasis Gaming. Coco, Wild Oreo looking to go for more. Aryu, though, still keeping calm. And okay, we're good. Action PH, we're fine. Nothing bad happened. Don't worry, the frenzy didn't happen. We're okay for now, and it's 9 to 5.
Dust off the shoulders. No reason to panic. I've been expensive. kind of got the first half there, not gonna lie.
I was like, where? Again? Yes? Oh.
Well,
but hey, you want some stats real quick?
Yeah, go. Hit me.
Oasis actually struggles a lot more on the tapping side on Breeze than the defense. So there is a big chance for Action PH to figure things out here on this side. So really, the ball, even though Oasis is in the lead, the ball is technically on their court. Because Action PH has gotten the 1, gotten the 2, and like we said back then, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 6, the 8, and then they're done. So APH, let's see if he can keep this momentum up.
Well, we like to joke about it sometimes, especially, when you're playing your ranked games, but sometimes it's not necessarily about attacker-sided, defender-sided map, but more like attacker-sided team, defender-sided team, right? on the specific map.
Yeah, where you're comfy, man.
Yeah,
you need your blankie, you need your nice pillow, that kind of thing. You need the monkey you built when you were a kid and you made him a biker and you didn't realize that the leather and the chains weren't soft.
Are you a foot out of the blanket or inside the blanket?
Depends. If the aircon is really strong, 2 feet in. If it's okay, then 1 foot out.
I see. Yes.
If it's electric fan, throw away the blanket because it is hot in the Philippines.
I know people who still use a blanket at the same time. I know people with AC full blast. They're like, I'm gonna use no blanket and be shirtless. So
I sleep on the floor. What's a bed?
What's a bed? What's a pillow even? Oh, good catch.
That's a bed of nails there, man, for Wild Oreo. Coco, though, the infiltration is clear here for Oasis. And here we go again, the pinch perfected by Oasis Gaming. Ripper just able to punch a Batman in the face with that Vandal. And it's all left now to Georgie and the Doctor to figure something out, but they're playing the juggling game. They're going to B site. Oasis has taken the 3rd round turnaround for the second half.
Going for the save. I mean, even though they don't have necessarily the cushion that Oasis might have, the rounds to give up that Oasis do, I still think it's a smart thing. Economy, man disadvantage, much more and the way they're playing kind of in that same vein. I'm not going to say it the 3rd time.
Coco's kind of cracked right now. He is opening up a lot for Oasis Gaming. And in all honesty, it does feel like APH isn't really punishing that enough. If you compare it to perhaps the last half, you would see how Ripper's presence would basically impose Action PH from some of the ambitious plays. And then a Batman decides to just play the Lurk instead, so he stays away from the KO. Right now, Coco's just going in. And if he is spotted by someone like Eman, he can shut down that escape plan, and Oasis can lose a member really quickly, but it's not happening.
You know what's surprising, Dax? Coco is supposed to be the team captain, I think, IGL.
Yeah, he is.
He's playing the chamber, which is something very uncommon, and the former coach of Oasis, Mr. One
Who?
Fluffy O2 Gaming, 5'11" guy from LaSalle. He said that he is one of the most important factors of the Oasis team, especially outside of the game. And for him to be a chamber, that's very uncharacteristic, but it looks like it works.
I mean, he's a Sentinel player, and he's just happy to play that chamber. I do feel like for Oasis, it's because they also want to keep players like Marky and Envy on their more frontline roles, as Envy finds Emin. And just basically Oasis overall has absolutely stepped on up coming into stage number 2, that they want to play more and more of these different compositions with different roles, and everyone, I feel, learning from each other, especially in the Oasis bootcamp that they live together, how to play the agent in the style that they need to play in. So looking good right now for Oasis. It is 3v3 though, so Action PH has found a few kills here and there, but they're still on the lesser buy. And well, are you? Maybe a Batman could find a gun along the way. A-site though has been anticipated by Action PH, so at least a good read. But what was that, Envy?
My goodness.
Just the clock are you immediately. The doctor don't want to decide. Envy again, just absolutely on point.
30 seconds left.
And it's not just invincibility anymore, it's just invulnerability and imposition. Envy making the impossible possible. A Batman right now, ready yet again. But Gotham, do they need this hero? Does Breeze need this hero for Action PH to decide? The Aldron though scouting as a big tell, as the Court of Owls will find a Batman here. And finally, the age-old adage of Envy wins again. 11-5, Oasis 2 away from taking the series.
Hush, hush, keep it down, because the riddle goes, which team can bring us into that third map? Oasis? Well, it certainly has to be the Action side, because there isn't really too much going for them in this case here, Dax. I mean, they tried to have a Batman do heroic things. Maybe if the Doctor found another more, but we can't fault him. He did his job. He got 1 for 1 before being traded. And it really is. I mean, it's never really the fault of one player. But Action PH needs Eman to step up right here, right now. Otherwise, this series could be done. It is group stages, so no eliminations yet. But losing a series 2-0 is a very painful thing to take.
Yeah. What's more painful, losing a 2-0 series or heartbreak?
This reminds me of the questions you were asked for that.
This reminds me of a certain caster on the Filipino side who has many subtle clown traits along the way. But right now, well, the traits of this series has been, when Oasis and APH scrap, it does get absolutely dicey. Thing is though, I do feel like APH, there, you can feel that the pressure's getting to them. Ambitious peaks. A Batman though with the hold, and here comes Georgina Batman, most potential fraggers for the side of Action PH, but the potential has been snuffed. A Batman now, the only one left, and it does feel like the toxins and the pushes of Oasis Gaming will be able to shut down the Dark Knight yet again. 12-5, match point for Oasis Gaming.
Man, I'm not too sure what exactly Action can specifically do here to try and change things up, because there's a multitude of factors of why Oasis are winning this. So much better control, so much better in the scramble, and just almost better at other, community tournaments, local tournaments during the off season. And a lot of people were wondering how they were necessarily doing. Now, I wasn't, I guess, super, intimidated for other teams going up against them in the community side, but here in the VCT, I was expecting a bit more. But at least they get things going in this round. It's not said and done yet until it says 13 for a scoreline, but this is another long way to go. Another 7-round comeback they're gonna have to do flawlessly, perfectly, without any mishaps. That can be very difficult. Marky's good for 1. Can you find even more blades to come on out? For information, everything cleared.
Look at this map! APH is supposed to be defending!
Yeah.
Oasis is supposed to be attacking! What are these positions?
We're throwing for a loop here.
Yeah, for a Freaky Friday on a Wednesday, man, and well, for Action PH, they're going back. They have B site. They can just go. Yeah. Why are they?
Just run, bro.
Just go. The fact that you guys are walking, will let them chase you. Just
And
Ripper's just watching the back, like, I got you, man. Don't worry. We're gonna go together. We're gonna get to the promise. Oh my! Emendo Marky finally decides to break the silence. And Evan He has just been shown the blue screen of death yet again. Viper Smith now able to play. Oasis finally decided to hit that site properly. Georgie though catches a Ripper, and it's all up to the Brakai Jet to defend the homeland. 2v2 situation. Are you looking to reinforce from the Archers as well? The Aldron has been spotted, has been broken, and now Action Page moving around, but they don't know that Georgie's right here. Misses wildly, and this is crucial for 8v8. Georgie finally with the kill, 1v1, but time is ticking. And Wild, are you ready to go hog wild versus the opposition? Decay is real, the damage has been done, and in the blinding green lights, it's the Oasis who comes up top. They have beaten the Curses, they have beaten 8v8 on Breeze, and they will take the 2-0 in vengeance for their loss last stage. Oasis Gaming is back, and they have made the noise that they wanted.
Full steam ahead, Oasis. From day number 1 here of the VCTPH Stage 2, looking in primed, pristine fashion. Once again, the type of quality and class we expect from this team. Now, Action Page simply outgunned and just outmaneuvered at every single turn for this entire series. A painful thing to say for one of the representatives of the PH when it came into the APAC play-ins, but the reality of things here, Oasis just looked so much more in control. Not a single moment did they look any bit shaken or stirred this entire series. And I mean, you look at things there near the end, I'm not sure if the team as a whole is not feeling it. Obviously, you know, some players on Action Page's side having their own mishaps, but it really was a big stark difference between these two teams coming into it, and even in especially intricate of teams when it comes to their play style. And they were really good at doing, you know, a handful of things, and it just doesn't seem to be them in proper shape right now. It's only day 1, it's only series 1. They have like 6 more matches for them to play, 6 more series, best of 3s for them to play in this entirety of the group stage. And so there's definitely some time for them to come back, but time is of the essence. We know just how quick the times can change and how quick metas and even teams can start playing. And so if you're Action PH right now, you have to sit back, you have to look at this VOD, rethink things. How do we get the job done? There's many answers to that, but which one is the correct one? We're gonna have to find out. But man, what a series to open up the day. What a series to open up stage 2 of the VCTPH. Dominant win from one of our APAC hopeful teams in Oasis. But for the meantime, on the casting desk, I am Black and Blue. With me was Dax. We are going to see you guys after this when the break comes back. So don't go anywhere. VCTPH will be back.
They drunk at their problems, they always on road and they stuck. She knows this cause she is the same. She's trying to stop playing games. Move of emotion, they drunk at their problems, they always on road and they stuck. She knows this cause she is the same. She's trying to stop playing games. Where the people at, what they really want to know. Who's your lovers and who are your bros? Who are the enemies you do keep close? Who are the people that you shouldn't know? Where the people at, what they really want to know. Who's your lovers and who are your bros? Who are the enemies you do keep close? Who are the people that you shouldn't know?
I just gotta flex, flex, flex on the lean. I just wanna rap to the beat. I just wanna back, cause I'm mean. I just gotta go back, I'm a freak. Gotta go. I just wanna rap to the beat. The chains, my vest, my watch, my belt, my cheese, my house, my sneakers, my blouse. I just party hard, popping the 1 in the chart. I've already won, babe, but then you start. Flexing on ya, flexing on me. Flexing on ya, flexing on me. I just gotta go, but I wanna hold on. I can't let you go, but I gotta stay strong.
Unless you heard it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. Got it from me, all the energy extra. You don't wanna see me with the hitters. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People they're quick, now they wanna move at the bits. Boy wanna go to bitch, nah. Now I'm moving. I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now instead of 4 3s or 2s. And now it's effing from Paris. I could have been effing you in Paris. I don't wait for the drop, I just flow from the pop. For me, all the energy extra. You don't wanna see me with a hit list. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People they're quick, now they wanna move at the bits. Boy wanna go to bitch, nah.
Working a 9 to 5, I had to go and feed the guys. Nobody did it right, I had to show them how to grind. I had to beat the odds, this is the life I live for God. Taking a step at a time, we going up, we headed to Mars. Taking them chances, making decisions, you know I'm never gonna lie. Till you let go, I'm copying all them, who you gon' be inside. I cannot fake it, I gotta face it, I gotta do the time. You gotta wait, make for a great pay, make sure you're doing your job. Gotta deal with the patience, 200 every occasion. Going to different locations, how they got when I need some direction. Me and Vinci go up every session. Cook it up, yeah, you know it's no pressure. Yeah, you know how we do it, we all in. We can slow up and you never catch us. Working a 9 to 5, I had to go and feed the guys. Nobody did it right, I had to show them how to grind. I had to beat the odds, this is the life I live for God. Taking a step at a time, we going up, we headed to Mars. You know my slimes, I came from the bottom to top. They can define us, they tryna find us, boy, I know you with the ops. We're not the same, no, you can't compare me, I don't belong in the box. Don't try to play me, no, I'm not friendly, this is everything I got. Ain't no playing around, this is no playground. It don't matter, I do what I say now. I'ma go give them something to say now. Got them stuck on my back like a spray ground. See, easy, don't gotta complain. I'm a shooter, got eyes in my van. They said that I would never make it, they thought I was crazy, they said I'm insane. Working a 9 to 5, I had to go and feed the guys. Nobody did it right, I had to show them how to grind. I had to beat the odds, this is the life I live for God. Taking a step at a time, we going up, we headed to Mars.
Undefined for life.
Oh man, what you talking about, man? You're so crazy, bruh. Wasn't too long before I realized a whole lot of truth just realized. Two groups faking the real guys, and both of them playing.
Welcome back, guys. You are watching VCT PH Stage 2, where we just witnessed Oasis Gaming get the first W of Stage 2 against Action PH. Even Dax on one of their worst maps, Breeze.
Feels like this is an Oasis Gaming roster that has just absolutely been reforging themselves. They threw the fires of VCTPH Stage 1, the misdeeds, the mistakes, and just all the training in the world. It's just crazy to think how much they've really stepped on up. You've seen Wild Warrior going on the Viper role that he has played before, feeling more confident. Coco on that chamber, being more aggressive. Ripper, just an absolute beast map after map. Marky, of course, supported, and the Invincible Envy. I just listed them all down because for Oasis Gaming, it's all about these parts working together to make the plays happen. And you could see that every single one of them had the impact that they needed to do.
Fluffy, I bet you're beaming with pride right now. I can see you guys, decide to take off the coats and just go full on with the jerseys to represent. But yeah, you I bet you're proud of these guys right now, especially after, after that Breeze map and getting, again, that 2-0 versus Action PH.
Yeah, for sure. It feels good not only for the team that is close to my heart that won their first series of the entire tournament, but also to do it in a convincing way. I like that the Oasis gaming that we're seeing right now is more proactive than reactive. It shows, I think, in a lot of their plays that they are not only more decisive for what their plans are, but they also work together. During the first map, we can see in Haven that when Marky entries, it really helps that the team's utility also falls with. I would have predicted to be very heavily in Oasis's favor, but I think Oasis have enough reps on that map to have a solid understanding, because I don't think that they would have left it open if they weren't confident, at least in the pick.
Jumping into our series highlights and jumping off of that point, are you saying that Oasis has finally broken through the curse, or do you think it was also like a little bit more of Action PH needing maybe a little more time to adjust?
It's too early to say. I think it's the first series, Mika. We have so many more to go, but this is a good sign for Oasis Gaming. Now, the Oasis connoisseur in me for a long time knows that it can already change in a heartbeat. It can change in the next day. It can change once they come into the playoffs. But it's a really good show of force that they have been absolutely on point with the teamwork, on point with the control. And Fluffy mentioned it a while ago. There are these times where Marky just comes on in. The flashes are coming. The paranoia is there. And that the flank can be secured by players like Coco. And in contrast for Action PH, there's that expectation we have for APH to find those dominant runs. But they were just answered by Oasis Gaming. I do feel like it's a factor that Oasis is familiar right now with the APH playstyle, is seeing the potential weaknesses that they can take advantage of. But what concerns me about Action PH is even in those scrappy rounds, or when Oasis decides to dismantle the initial push of Action PH, they just can't really stand a chance on it. And for one thing that Action PH has always been able to rely on is their raw firepower, is as potent as can be. Case in point, Georgie. But we're not getting it from the full squad right now, and it does feel like these roster swaps and some of these role swaps right now are really affecting the potential pace they have for the game here.
That's true. Aside from that, I would also like to add that I think APH still is in that stage where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with the new mix that they have in the bag. It's one thing to compare teams that are normally strong, like household names like APH and Oasis, but because of them, and hopefully the question is just, will they keep going, or is this just a one-off thing? Because we've seen in the past, on the other side, for stage 1, where APH was very dominant for the first week, but they started to fall off during the second.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how APH is going to be adjusting from here on out. But we have our MVP of the series. We have Invi Dax. You mentioned that he was pretty much immortal, unkillable in throughout this matchup. And, I think you were right. He definitely, look at those stats, look at those numbers. This guy was definitely a beast. And sometimes, you didn't even know where he was coming from, and he would just get those first frags just inexplicably.
It's like, what was his KD back in that second game? Around 4 point something. Yeah, it was 23-7-7, so it's like a 30-7 ratio. It's just crazy to think. And he even had a KAST of 100%. So every single time that he needed to put the impact on, he was there for the team. And Envy, just one of the best players that you can rely on your roster. He can do anything for your squad, all the way from the Hasher days here to the Oasis games right now. And I really feel like many times he will be the benchmark of the Oasis performance.
Well, we're actually going to be hearing from Envy himself and the rest of Oasis Gaming as we welcome them over here onto our desk for a quick interview, a quick post-match interview. So welcome, Oasis Gaming. I believe we do have the whole squad on standby. I think everybody is here and ready and excited to be back on the desk. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey guys,
welcome. Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I wasn't prepared for this kind of layout. I was like, whoa, okay. You can see my door there in the back. Whoops. But yes, Oasis Gaming, congratulations to you guys. So
thank you.
Question. starting out stage 2 very, very strong with that win against Action PH. Looking also very strong on Breeze, to even the surprise of our casters and our panelists. Can you let us know what some of the adjustments you guys made coming into stage 2?
We just prepare for the maps that were not that good, so that include Breeze. So we keep practicing those maps and actually all the map, and we just play our game. Our past scrims like 2 weeks ago is not going well, but I think when we're all here in the bootcamp, it's just the bootcamp buff that really shows, and we play our game. That's really good.
Yeah, the energy definitely shows, and just really curious. Because we have been putting Fluffy on the spot. I'm curious to know from you guys, how does Fluffy on the other side of the broadcast?
We're sad, but
Aww.
we really love him. He's like our giant teddy bear, and we really love that guy. But sometimes naiiwan talaga tayo ng mga mahal natin, gano'n. Yeah.
Wow, wow. I feel I'm sad now. I'm sad now. Thanks for that. We have a question coming in from Black and Blue. I sound like a radio DJ. We have a question coming in from Black and Blue. For Coco, so how good was the OODA looping?
The OODA looping, we practiced that since Waki came. Actually, shout out to Waki, our analyst. He's the one that replaced Fluffy. He helped us throughout this last 2 weeks, and it comes to show on our game.
Awesome. And finally, are there any teams that you are looking forward to going up against the most here on stage 2? Any rivalries that you want to put to rest the most?
We want to play against SBE because they're the team that beat us last VCT. But I know when we face them, it's going to be a great match and great series.
Some unfinished business there, so we're gonna look out for that. Lastly, do you guys have any shout outs that you'd like to give? Maybe some messages to all of the fans of Oasis Gaming?
Shout out to all the fans of Oasis Gaming. Thank you for supporting us since day one. And to our families, to our friends. Shout out to Fluffy, to our ex-coach. Now, he left us. Shout out to Waki, our analyst. And Oasis squad. Shout out to Ate, to everyone in the core. And to the casters, analysts that voted for us to win. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys, and once again, congratulations on your win. We're looking forward to seeing the rest of your matches here at Stage 2.
Thank you so much.
Aww, they miss you, Fluffy.
Oh, man.
You're a
Nice
big
lang.
teddy bear.
Gusto ba yung move on, you know?
Fluffy, the
Aw.
heartbreaker, man.
Nah.
You could feel the emotions. It's like, we miss you, buddy. Why
I'm
have
very,
you
very
left
happy
us?
that they won. That's for sure.
Aww.
I
Well,
don't
you
think
know,
you're-
sometimes we have to let those we love go so that they can,
Yes.
you know,
And
they can
and
be
if they come
better.
back, then they truly love you. So,
Yeah.
Oasis
Wow.
Fluffy return? Ready.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this. You know, I heard rumors about this side of VCT. I wasn't expecting this on my first day, but hey, what a welcome to
Welcome
me,
back.
right? Before we throw it into a break, I do want to ask, of course, on the side of Action PH, what do you guys think? What do you guys think they need to work on from what we've seen from those two maps? Dax, you first.
I think Action PH right now just needs to find a bit more of the whole team's consistency. It's just they need to find that kind of agreement of how they really want to separate themselves from the rest of the competition, because it just hasn't been as magical even before stage 2. It hasn't been as magical right now, and it does feel like there's a lot more balance, but too much balance might lose what makes you unique. You become vanilla rather than cookies and cream, rather than cookie dough. It's just whatever made APH special, they either need to reclaim it or they need to look for something a little bit different. But I do like some of the states that still have consistency from Georgie, discipline from, the Doctor. Aryu, I'm just still concerned about that role swap. But for APH, they need to figure out who they are as soon as possible that separates themselves from the other 7 teams we have in the group stage right now.
true. Coming into something like this, especially on your first match on stage as a team together, I feel like it's one of those things where you really have to build that familiarity that I mentioned before. But like what Dax mentioned, as much as it's great that they are evolving their playstyle, they're bringing out the Astra and Haven. They usually play Cypher, but with the Batman coming in, they're playing that Killjoy role instead, what he's kind of known for. So they are doing the adjustments. The problem is, do they have the time to adjust? Can they adjust faster, or have they really figured out what roles they want everyone to play to get that formula going? Because it's not like, I mean, the results of this game does show that they did lose the game, but there's a lot of flashes of brilliance from the team itself. Like you see a Batman hold a lot of these nasty off angles, going for the clutches. They have really good players. It's just that they need to figure out that structure so that they can be more proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, and I think, of course, with all of the other teams stepping it up as well, Action PH probably, has to pick up the pace a little bit and, make 2 steps forward while everybody's taking, small steps forward. They really need to close in that gap. We are headed into another quick break, but when we return, we've got Now's Esports and South Built Esports coming right up.
Gotta be more, is this real life? Got a bad hand, but I still try. Trying to knock me down and I still climb. I can see the promised land right over the hill line. And when I get there, yeah, we all gon' party. Learn how to surf cause the waves is gnarly. Gotta make the bread, gotta bake the barley. But it take a little time, be patient, darling. Working for the people, gotta rake them all in. But sometimes people make you hate your calling. Some people panic when the brakes is stalling. Yeah, I go to God when my faith is falling. Put it on the tattoos. A righteous man don't know bad news. Found forgiveness for my snafus. Nothing for the pretty girls trying to get a cashew. Bad dude. Sometimes life really suck like a vacuum. The devil I don't never turn my back to. I just want to shower love like a bathroom. And be a role model for the black youth. Oh, here you go. Here you go again. Talking all that. What? What are you talking about, man? Wasn't too long before I realized a whole lot of truth just realized. 2 groups faking the real guys, and both of them plotting on your meal size. Gotta be more, is this real life? Got a bad hand, but I still try. Trying on me down and I still climb. I can see the promised land right over the hill line. And I broke a lot of hearts in my lifetime, thinking that their heart wasn't like mine. Finally got through a lifeline, and I stumbled upon a right mind. Love showed up at the right time. Put her in a white dress, get the white wine. Some people do it for the nighttime, but I'm thinking more, make your life mine. Yeah. Is it possible we could last forever and ever and ever?
You are watching VCTPH Stage 2. We are on our second series of the day with Nows Esports and South Built Esports. My name is Mika Fabs, and joining me on the panel this time around are Azurai and G10. Welcome, gentlemen. I feel weird welcoming people over since it's my first day. It's your first day too as well, G10. How are you feeling? Aw, that's so nice. You don't need to reveal too much. Yeah, Azurai, as I noticed, Azurai
Alright.
giggled a little bit what G10 said when G10 mentioned that we've taken a lot of time bonding and everything, and I said, hey, be careful what you reveal over there.
No, they don't know the inner workings or the machinations of the VCT talents behind the scenes. Not yet.
Why am I a little worried? Why am I a little scared? But you know what? I don't think there's anything to fear because, of course, we have wonderful sponsors backing us up, just like PPGL, the largest multi-game esports league in the country, together with Riot Games for bringing the Valorant Champions Tour here in the Philippines. And we also want to thank our official sponsors. VCT Stage 2 Philippines Challengers is organized by Globe at Home, Fiber Strong, Family Strong, with the new G5er Unli 2099 ng Globe at Home. Game with speeds of up to 150 Mbps, mabilis na, unlimited internet pa. To learn more, go to shop.globe.com.ph/broadband. We also want to thank our official gaming hardware partner, Asus ROG. VCT 2022 is brought to you by Asus Republic of Gamers. The ROG Falcon is the perfect solution for Valorant players. With a 65% form factor and up to 450 hours of wireless connectivity, the new ROG NX switches, every strike becomes an extension of your intention. Go to ph.rog.gg/ROGXVCT2022 for more information about the ROG Falcon NX wireless mechanical gaming keyboard. So, gentlemen, we have quite a series ahead of us. We have Now's Esports and South Built Esports, two teams that made it to the SEA playoffs in Stage 1. Azurai, this is a little bit of a throwback to that history, with this match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they've already went up against each other 4 times in the past. Some of those were during Stage 1. Another one was, I believe, during the Open Qualifiers. That Open Qualifiers was the only time that SBE actually got a win off of NAS. And when NAS started to become that dark horse team that nobody really anticipated that they were going to become, they actually won 3 series in a row against Southfield Esports, with all of those series being 2-0s. So there really is this set rivalry already between these two top teams, the kings of PH NOWs and the perennial kings of the entire Philippines, with SBE being able to go into APEC Challengers. How well has both teams kind of evolved or adapted to each other moving forward into Stage 2?
Your little man bun is so cute, by the way. I'm a little distracted.
It's
so
I know
cute.
it's very small.
Yeah, so cute. I love it. G10.
I was just about to say. That's why I do be looking mad cute. You do. You have to.
It's so cute. G10, though, Azurai mentioned that Nows was quite a dark horse. Do we still believe that? Do we still believe that after what happened at Stage 1?
Absolutely
Can they surprise us
not.
again? Are they still that dark horse?
They're not a dark horse in terms of if they do win now, it's not surprising. They would be a little bit what's it called? They'd be a little bit more favored now to be a dark horse. So they would have to kind of play up there with the with the top half of the field, at least in the first week, because I would say they kind of have a lot of expectations on them from the first stage, and they kind of have to keep that Kings of PH mantle that they earned themselves in this in VCT.
What's kind of good about that as well, right, is there's kind of these